Why is it that everywhere we look, we are striving to be the fastest, the greatest, the best? My name is Lizzie, and for years I've been chasing speed. Liz the Wiz, they'd call me. But it got to the point that the only person who would come riding with me was my own demons. I thought I could escape them by just going faster. I was stuck in my ways till I was stopped in my tracks. By a horse? Get out of my way! There was just no persuading a horse that my interval session was more important than its breakfast. He even convinced me I should calm it down a wee bit. Maybe even give up the lycra? I'd been put in touch with a guy called Pat. He said that if I'm wanting to break free from my fast and furious past, there's no better place to start than the Cairngorms. Oh, Pat, we're recording. So tell me, why is this the place to overcome your demons?
It's an incredibly significant place, both, geographically here in this landscape, but also it's an emotive place. It seems to occupy like a special place in a lot of people's hearts. What we learn is obviously really important and stuff, right? But I think also like how we learn and where we learn should be seen as like being equally important. I think if you can bring people into like environments like this, they kind of do half your job for you.
I find it hard to notice the wood from the trees. How do we start seeing the bigger picture?
You're just this little thing wandering around this much bigger picture, and I think it's easy to get really kind of bogged down with like the ins and outs and the sort of minutiae of our own lives and our own existence. And if we don't step back and try and look at the bigger picture, I think it's really easy to get lost. Spending time in environments like this can, help aid that process.
So I did just that, and went to the biggest landscape I could find. Glen Feshie. Basking in the sun with a morning brew. You can't beat it. Not a care in the world. And luckily, Pat introduced me to a couple of local legends, Annie and Nikki. And I don't mean the Strava type of local legends. They're experts in taking people on bikepacking trips. It sounds like they might be my people.
Sensitive question. I got cereal bar in my teeth.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh!
Hi, my name is Annie, and most of my work that I do now is kind of women-specific guiding, and I do a mixture of kind of day guiding and also bikepacking.
And Nikki, how did you get into it?
This is one of my greatest friends in the world, Annie. Like 10 years ago, scooped me up and took me under her wing and taught me how to ride on actual trails, didn't you? She brought me here as well and showed me this, and I was like, oh my god.
You're telling me you take people biking and that's your job? Why don't career advisors tell you that at school? You mentioned kettles earlier. What's the story with that?
There's a lovely bit of water right behind us. This is part of a kettle hole. So there used to be a massive lump of ice that sat there, and the ground got pushed down underneath it, and then when it melted, it left this lovely lock.
And all this talk of kettles had me thinking, I really could do with another brew. Changing gears, slowing down, noticing where we are. this is bigger than bikes. It's the details in between. Cake, cups of tea, time with pals, spongy moss. And the best bit about pine needle tea is you don't have to bin the tea bag. Back into the kettle hole you go. I'm planning to head south to see Anila, who I've heard can point me towards my next brew.
Look at where we are. It's absolutely glorious to be up here. You can see home on that side. You can see my favourite coffee shop, and such a focal point to just stop and just think about where we are and our surroundings and how beautiful it is to just be up here. You know, you're here with the trees, you're here, you know, with all this beautiful green space, and just the hugeness of the sky when you're in a space like this. It's quite phenomenal to feel like you're just this sort of tiny thing in this big landscape. It puts everything into perspective again, right?
Why aren't we all up here? What's stopping us?
We assume that it's about the gnar, we assume that it's challenging, technical, but actually when you ask anybody why they ride because they like to get outside, because it's good for their mental health, and just to get away from the pressures of everyday life. But what we need to do is that people that are not privileged to be in that space, we need to open it up to enable them to enjoy mountain biking the same way that everyone that is in the sport already. And people that are vulnerable, people that don't have those opportunities and life chances, they desperately need to be outdoors and get those benefits that we have.
Ever since talking to Anila, I just can't stop noticing the little things. And it's really messing with my riding, because look at all that moss. It's like a wee fairy carpet. If I'm wanting to have some balance in my life, Anila told me about her pal Emma, who lives just up the Strath. I've heard she's something of an expert in this thing called flow.
Very subconsciously, I think, taking loads from where I am. Life doesn't have to be about all the mundane stresses of bills to pay, etc., etc. Life is also about being in this amazing landscape and having the challenge under the tyres. And you know, sometimes you can be thinking about all sorts as you're going down an easy bit of trail, but then as soon as it starts to get technical, then your focus goes really narrow, and you've got to really sort of think about exactly what every part of your body is doing, and you've got to forget about what's for dinner tonight.
What is for dinner tonight?
What's for dinner tonight? I've no idea. My housemates the last few nights have made bolognese, and that's lasted us for like 3 nights. Raced and rode and travelled all over the world riding my bike, and I came back after all that sort of period of time going, I want to give to others what I've experienced, and so I really zoned in on biking. What has been hard is really being the minority in terms of gender. It's always been my life like that. I've worked through the outdoors and always been a minority gender in a staff room or within the sport in general, and I've seen massive changes, and I'm really positive about the future. Yes, I myself have been the minority, but I can see the future where other people won't be. Everyone's got their wee story and their reason to why they want to lead on a mountain bike, and it's always very special to hear everyone's stories about why and what they'll feel they'll get from it.
I couldn't stop thinking about how every person I've spoken to has said the same thing.
You're just this little thing
This sort of tiny thing.
wandering around this.
Amazing landscape.
Feeling, I guess, like the peace here.
These landscapes just put things into perspective and make you work up quite an appetite.
I mean, is there a better purpose for cycling than ice cream? Cake and ice cream, coffee. Isn't that why we all do it? I've been misinformed. I've been involved in adaptive cycling for about 8 years. I set up Adaptive Riders Collective 3 years ago, and we help people with disabilities, predominantly physical disabilities, get out doing off-road adaptive cycling. I've been a mountain bike leader for about 18 months, doing lots of leading with new adaptive riders and riders that have been riding for quite a while. Yeah, I think there is a lot of the come follow me kind of attitude. I'm going to take you off into the wilderness and we're going to do really technical stuff and really gnarly stuff. And yes, that stuff's really exciting and it's really important and it's a big part. But there's a huge spectrum of what mountain biking, off-road cycling is, that people are really starting to realise that lots of people ride for lots of different reasons.
So besides the cake, what keeps people coming back out?
It's not that our sole purpose is to take people to like technical stuff or to really push their limits, but actually to help making sure they have a really good experience. Like, it's about being fun, it's about enjoying it, it's about seeing the positives. And I think that's really quite an honour and a privilege that we get to do that, because we have then the key to them having a phenomenal time.
Thanks, Neil. I think we need more people taking folk out to places like this. A coach, a friend, a horse. Because really, I owe it to that horse. And that's what I'm gonna do. Give him a good old pat on the head. Thanks, pal.